and welcome to the Assay. Today I'm here with Exploits Discovery to talk all about mining in Newfoundland. So joining me today, I have Jeff Swinoga, President and CEO, Ken Tylee, VP of Exploration, Nick Ryan, Exploration Manager, Shanda Kilborn, VP of Investor Relations, and Nathan Costello, Project Geologist. So thanks to the team for joining me here today.
Yeah, thank you, Amy.
For having us.
And maybe we could just start with, a quick introduction to Exploits Discovery and your project in Newfoundland. So whoever wants to kick us off.
Yeah, sure. It's Jeff Swinoga. So thanks, Amy. Again, thanks for having us on the show, and thanks to all of our panelists from our team to be available for this. We're an exploration company in Newfoundland, beautiful province, Newfoundland, Labrador. We're searching for high-grade orogenic gold in central Newfoundland. We've got one of the largest land positions around one of our neighbors called Newfound Gold, which really kind of kicked off this whole gold rush about 3 years ago with the tremendous gold discoveries that they continue to have. And we assembled a great local team. Almost all of our team is local, and the key members are on the panel today. And no, it's great. Honestly, we're drilling our flagship Bullseye property we just picked up about 6 months ago. It's exciting times for us. Every day when the drill core is coming in, it's the team's excited to see what's there, and we're just telling investors to stay tuned.
All right, sounds great. And I mean, maybe we could talk a little bit about what is it about Newfoundland that makes it, I guess, such an ideal place for you and your team to be operating? Well,
for me, I've been in mining for about 25 years. I've been in difficult places around the world. I won't mention them, but it's when I had the opportunity to work with such great people in our team in central Newfoundland and be in the province more often than not. Hopefully, it's just great. We'll go through it in the panel discussion, but maybe I'll turn it over to maybe Ken. You want to say some words?
Yes. I guess you'd say, really love working in Newfoundland. The majority of my career since 1984 has been spent exploring for gold in the big established 100-year-old mining camps in Northern Ontario, working for large operations. And I have to tell you, it's when I accepted this role, it's like a breath of fresh air. The government of Newfoundland and Labrador are behind all the exploration efforts 100%. They're always available for consultation, for giving advice. It goes through all levels between government. All the local service providers are very eager to help out. And then even just our neighbors, people that sort of reside in the offices and in the shops next to where we're set up in Gander. They see us on the street. They're very friendly. They're very open. They're always asking how they can help out. It's really nice and uplifting for me personally. And I guess I am the one guy from management that's from away. And I tell you, nobody hesitated to make me feel welcome. Everybody was very open and transparent, and I'm just very, very proud to be part of this team and hopefully be on the ground floor of the establishment of a new mining camp in central Newfoundland. I mean, for me personally, what a great way to finish off a career, to be in on the ground floor of something that could really have a really good economic impact on central Newfoundland.
You started to talk a little bit about kind of the workforce and just kind of the acceptance and lots of people within the community that are kind of a part of the project and of the team. Do you want to expand a little bit about how you see kind of the local workforce as a benefit?
The residents of central Newfoundland have seen several phases of exploration come and go since the 1950s. They are sort of familiar with our procedures, our processes. They're in tune or aware of the economic impact it could have on their region. And they're very alert to this. They're very, as I said earlier, they're very willing to assist and help out. And I mean, Nick and Nate are perfect examples. There's a young generation of geologists that for the first time, probably in 30 years, they have an opportunity to work back in their home province, to be able to get home at night and be close to their families. And probably they're very much more qualified to talk about this than I am.
Yeah, I was going to say over to Nick and Nate. Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
Well, I mean, the big thing for me is getting to come home and do something at home, because you're always, again, working away in these other camps, other parts of the country, other parts of the world, and seeing these exciting things happen for those communities and getting to see all that happen here. But also working with the guys, it's an added benefit of, you know, the ground is unexplored, but it's not unknown. So you always have someone you can lean on to get you to a certain river or a certain lake that he's gone to since he was, 9 years old.
Yeah, there's a real aspect of collegialism, and I think Ken touched on this, where, we feel like we're all in it together. Like everyone's kind of rooting for us to have a big discovery, and we're rooting for others to have gold discoveries to kind of keep this gold rush going. And you feel like, part of the group, maybe not family, but you feel like we're all kind of trying to accomplish something. Like even people talk about this camp being early days and almost early days of someone like an Abitibi or 100 years of gold discoveries. So to be on the kind of the early stages, ground floor, it's fantastic. And you can see in the excitement, as Ken mentioned, with the younger geologists that we have on our staff. And maybe over to Nick to talk a bit about our team.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic to be working in central Newfoundland. As we alluded to earlier, I've spent most of my career, working abroad, mainly in the Yukon. So it's a bit of a jaunt to fly out there every 2 weeks. So being able to drive just from my home in St. John's out to central Newfoundland is fantastic. And then as far as the individuals that we have out here, within the central area, as Ken was talking about, like no one here is unfamiliar with what's happening right now. It's just to the scale that it's happening right now and for the consistency that it's happening at for years to come, hopefully. So out here, there's many qualified workers. It goes right down from, people we need for clearing trees to people we need for snow plowing to, even working with the real estate agents to our local prospectors. Everybody knows the area, everybody's willing to go to work, and they're just as excited about it as we are, that they have somewhere that they can finally go to consistently within their own province to work as well, because Newfoundlanders are no strangers to having to leave home for extended periods of time. Because sometimes the industries there's the ebb and flow, but right now we just happen to be in some of the most busy times, most exciting times that we've seen in many years, and I think that everybody is just very excited, and we're just happy as a company that we can avail of these skilled workers and keep them busy so that they don't have to leave their families, that they can make a good living at home.
All right, sounds great.
Yeah, and maybe just to add on that, as a non-local team member, it's quite something to see when you visit the Gander office, and just the passion and the commitment that the technical team members have. We have a great culture, and I think a large part of that is for our technical team to be able to work from home and be committed to this project.
No, absolutely.
I was going to say, I have to add, when I go down to visit, I find it really cool that the geologists and the technicians, prospectors, they're rushing to get out in the field in the morning. Like when I've been there, there's nobody lagging around pouring a second cup of coffee or coming up with an excuse to improve, let's say, their maps on their laptop. They're all eager to get out, and lots of times in the afternoon, like they're not getting back until 5:30, 6 o'clock in the afternoon after a full day out in the bush prospecting. There's been a few times where I've been sitting there by myself, kind of worried or wondering where everybody was. And it's just so nice to see that that level of enthusiasm from everybody on a daily basis.
I guess looking more at, kind of some of the benefits of operating in Newfoundland. Maybe we could talk a little bit about kind of the accessibility of projects and properties, the access and all of that. How does that,
Yep,
Sure.
I can speak to that a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. I guess maybe I'll just start off and say, the access is amazing actually when you can be within all of our projects within an hour, and much like other exploration companies in the region, great access to roads, great access to supplies. I mean, we don't really need to go outside to procure or to supply ourselves with anything. The lab is local, our drilling contractors are local. It's just a great hub, if you want to call it, for in early stages, but a great hub for great things to come. So sorry, Nick, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, no, accessibility is great, but it just goes back to the history of the province. I mean, you look at how people lived in the past here. I mean, a lot of things were, fishing, mining, or forestry. So as far as it goes, the way that the communities are set out there, some of them are ideally situated, close by with major access routes and things going to them, because people have lived there forever. So this is just an added benefit. Like there's certain provinces you go to and you have to go to a fly camp. You're 500 kilometers out in the middle of nowhere or whatever. But here on the island, like I said, there's always a small community with a unique story, with unique people that you get to encounter. And this just helps out with, like I said, the accessibility, because everything is connected and it all goes through the center of the province to the coast of the province to everywhere. So all of our sites are, road accessible. It's a luxury that I haven't had in the past. Our crew house is actually here within the town of Gander, and our core shack and our work sites, like our field sites, are just anywhere from a half an hour to an hour and a half drive away. So the access is absolutely fantastic.
So, when looking to start up an exploration or other type of mining project in a region, I think regulation and permitting and, working with local governments is always a key consideration. So can you give us a bit more information about how you've been working with the government and kind of any challenges you've come up with, or ways that you've been able to kind of work harmoniously?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the government here is actually relatively easy to work with. While the permitting process is fairly rigorous, the turnaround times for your mineral exploration permits for your various exploration activities is fairly quick. And from the point of staking your ground to the point of actually being able to do work is only in the order of weeks generally, which is very good, because obviously we're all excited to get started as soon as possible. So once we submit our permit, then it goes out to various other departments within the government. So there might be referrals to the people that take care of the water or the forestry agencies, just to make sure that everything is compliant with all environmental standards, things of that nature. So yeah, as far as it goes, you can also just pick up the phone and call into Mineral Lands whenever, if there's ever a delay, and you actually get to speak to an individual. And if there's any issues, then you can figure out how to, mitigate those and fix those to expedite the permitting process. And then the government also offers some funding assistance for junior exploration companies, the Junior Exploration Assistance Program. So what it is once you complete your programs for the year, you submit all your financial information, and then the government has a pool of money that any applicants, being various companies, will actually get a rebate on your programs, which then stems further work, which then leads to, again, continuing jobs for people within the area, and continuing life and growth for exploration companies for the mining industry in Newfoundland.
And one thing, Amy, I just want to mention also too, with how helpful the government is. I mean, we're just so pleased to have people who have been decades of knowledge in the area visiting us and saying, "Hey, have you looked over here? Have you thought about this? Have you?" It's just a tremendous amount of wealth of experience to help us out. So I know, maybe Nick, do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, no, the Geologic Survey of Newfoundland is a fantastic resource that I think sometimes gets underused to a certain respect, because again, they have, obviously they have their own restrictions and things which they can talk about, not talk about, but however, they're within the confines of what they're allowed to do. They are very helpful and they're a very valuable asset. Every year, several of the geologists generally will do a cross island tour kind of thing. They'll pop by the shop, they'll have a chat, we can talk some rocks, things like that. And then if we ever have any technical issues while using the online geoscience atlas or things like that, again, because the department is so close knit, You just get in contact with someone out there, then you're speaking with someone directly, and they generally get things sorted for you, or can lead you in the right direction, or get you in contact with who you need. But it's a fantastic resource to have here, just a couple hours away.
All right, great. And so Newfoundland has been having something of, an exploration gold rush. Can you talk a little bit about kind of other projects developing, or I suppose opportunities you're seeing across the region?
Yeah, it's just a great opportunity for exploration companies to. It's relatively unexplored. I mean, there has been some limited success in the past, and some great success in the last couple of years. But there are exploration companies at various stages. Some who are just really just staking ground and looking to do some field work, and then others who are drilling and become $1 billion company and huge successes. So we're really, I mean, everyone's looking to. There's like probably over 30 exploration companies right now. Looking to do great things in the province. So really pleased to be one of them, and happy to see others be successful, and others are hopefully happy to see us be successful as well.
All right. And so my last question was really just kind of looking at the impact on local communities and local economies. You've already started to touch on this earlier, but you really spoke to being a bit of a local hub for the community. Can you talk a bit about, some of the impacts that you see on the communities in which you operate?
Sure. Honestly, it's just a wonderful place to do business, and everyone's so supportive. We're happy to. It just makes sense. I don't know if it's really just kind of giving back from the ESG perspective, but it's just the right thing to do. Like using the local lab, our local contractors, our clothes, of course, for safety equipment we buy locally. The assaying, it's just everything we need is in the province within probably an hour or so of where we're operating in Gander, Newfoundland. So it's but on the ground, it's probably best to hear from our guys who are based right in Gander, doing all the hard work for us. So over to Nick and Nathan to talk about that.
Yeah, no, for sure. In the world that we live in today, everything is just a click away on Amazon, but this is not the way that we like to operate. Like you said, everything that we need can be found. Sometimes maybe you have to look a little harder, but generally once you find what you need, the people are more than happy to go above and beyond for you. So as Jeff alluded to, everything from our safety gear to our truck rentals to any of our supplies, to whatever we need, whether it be specifically in central Newfoundland, or if we might have to go to St. John's, but somewhere within the province, we always give that the first try before we try to go out of province. So, and generally we don't have any issues, like you said. And if somebody here can't find something, they'll know somebody who will know where to find it, because that's how close knit everybody kind of is here. So.
And this is because the province has a long history of working together, right? Of getting by through tough times and reliance on their neighbors and everybody pitching in and pulling together. And then another thing I could add, if Amy, if you want, I don't know if it's relevant or not, but I actually know of 2 or 3 companies from Northern Quebec, Northern Ontario, that are seriously considering setting up branch offices in the Gander area. They've been following all the activities and the large amounts of money going into exploration over the last 3 years, and they're starting to recognize, I guess, the business opportunity that's going on in central Newfoundland right now.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of, you've talked a bit about the impacts on the local communities that you've been operating in. So maybe you can talk a little bit about, specifically some of the outreach programs and stuff that Exploits Discovery is involved in.
Great. Well, thanks, Amy. Honestly, we're happy to give back, and whether it's time spent with our geologists giving back to the local communities. I mean, they're living right in the communities, so it just makes a lot of sense. And if they see opportunities to educate and even like nurture and foster the future leaders in this mining industry that we hopefully 25 years now will be super proud of contributing to. And I know Nathan and our team here has done a tremendous amount of work with Casey. So Nathan, maybe you want to mention a few things.
Yeah, so me and another team member, Casey Stone, went to high school there in Gander and did a mining matters activity, cookie mining. Basically explaining the mining cycle to the kids and getting them engaged and asking some questions about our job and what we do day to day. And they were really excited. Honestly, it was hard to get through the activity because there was such a large amount of questions just pertaining to the job itself. But not only the outreach in the communities themselves, but bringing up that next generation of miners, that next generation of engineers and geologists is very important as well while moving through and developing these programs and projects.
Yeah, and if I could just add, both Nathan and Casey at the recent PDAC event that we have, one of the largest mining events in the world in Toronto, they hosted sort of a Mining Matters booth. So they would, have students come by, and Casey and Nathan would talk about, the real grassroots exploration all the way through the mining cycle and what it's all about. And just honestly, that's what really our mining sector needs. These future leaders. And I'm just happy that Nathan and Casey were able to do that, and actually you could feel the excitement when you've got over 20,000 people at this conference, and you have the students seeing that excitement, and you have experienced geologists like Nathan and Casey doing that work for Mining Matters. It was great. So Nathan, I don't know if you want to comment any more about that, but it was a great opportunity.
No, it's just a lot of fun to talk to young people who are interested in the industry because, in a room full of 30 kids, there might only be 2 or 3 explorationists in that room, but that's who you're trying to reach. You're trying to grab that niche group of people that love to do this. So.
All right.
If I can jump in, I just say I've spent the past 20 years managing large teams of exploration geologists and technicians and prospectors, and it's really prideful for me. It's really pleasing to see young geologists like Nathan and Casey get involved. So often geologists are so focused on the task. We got to find the next deposit. We got to drill. It's so refreshing to see young people in Newfoundland get involved in the longevity of the business to try and help the next generation rather than just focus on the sort of the 9-to-5 job task.
Yeah, and maybe just to add, Nathan's and Nick are, of course, are part of the fabric, the local fabric of the community. And I don't know if Nick or Nathan, you want to mention about some of the activities. Seems to be a lot of camaraderie and events that are actually each exploration company sort of attends and see each other, and everyone's wishing each other well. So I'm not sure, maybe Nathan, you want to mention something?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there were some of the guys from Newfound that used to rent a gymnasium, and we'd go play basketball and ball hockey. Newfound has actually hosted a few sporting events where different companies from in the Gander region got together. And I mean, we all see each other, out on the trails, but also after work for a barbecue or something like that. So it's all, it's a lot of people coming from different university classes from the same universities and stuff like that coming back together on the province. So it's not just working together, it's living together as well.
So I'd like to, thank the Exploits Discovery team for joining me today. And just wanted to see if there's any kind of final notes from the team before we log off.
Sure. Just one final note on the importance of the local community in central Newfoundland and in Gander. The Chamber of Commerce there is even putting on a conference to support the industries and the other businesses and services within the mining industry. So that's great to see. And actually, Eric Sprott is one of the keynote speakers and a big supporter of our company and many other companies in the area. So it's really great to see such a small community supporting each other.
All right, great. Well, thank you to Jeff, Ken, Nick, Nathan, and Shanda for joining me here today.
Real pleasure, Amy.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks very much. Yeah.
Thanks, Amy.